Hello there, you're listening to another episode of Inside the Techosystem, a podcast where we bring you fun and insightful topics about tech and its ecosystem in Nigeria. I'm your host, David Chuka, and I'm joined by my co-host, E-Money. I
What's
think we
up?
have to, we're changing your name on this show. Emmanuel is a little bit long, then you now add Awotunde again. See how short David Chuka is. David Chuka. That's 4 syllables.
Say your full name.
No. So
Say it.
from now on, yeah, E-Money from now
All
on.
right. I like it.
Man, we've not recorded in a while actually. I feel like we say this every time we start a new episode.
I think you say this every time.
Guys, let me confess why I say it, because I actually don't get work, right? Podcasting is turning to a full-time hobby. So anytime we don't record in a long time, I kind of miss it. So when we come back, I'm like, oh, finally. Hi guys. Oh my god, I've missed you. Man, what's been good now? What's happening? What's up with you?
I've been okay. I've been out and about quite a while, but I'm settling now. Hoping not to travel again for like a month because it gets tiring sometimes because you're on the road. My normal schedule is like upside down right now, so yeah, I feel like I'm out of place. But yeah,
Interesting.
settling down.
It's affecting everybody. Let me just tell you, it's affecting me too. But it's all good. You didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you. I've been alright. I've been alright. I've been alright. Yeah, that's basically it.
So if I was asked, that's what you tell me.
I live a pretty boring life. Everyone listening will have a very special guest amongst us, and he goes by the name Lord Ali. Yeah, he goes by the name Lord Ali. Apparently, he has been knighted in England by the. I will not say the word before people come for me. Yeah, but yeah, he has traveled far and wide. Preaching the gospel of cybersecurity. Ali, I'm going to stop talking now, please. I need you to introduce yourself. Full name this time. I call you Ali, but what's your full name? And just let people know that young.
No, I'm Ali. And my full name is. Why do I tell you my government name anyway? My full
Tell
name
them
is
now,
Aliyu
please, in case people are
Yisa.
looking for you. And I know people are looking for you because you're a hacker.
I'm not a hacker. Just because I'm into cybersecurity doesn't mean I'm a hacker. That's like
Tell us.
a common
Tell us.
a common misconception. But yeah, how much do you want to know really? I do cybersecurity. I started as a software engineer actually. Did lots of abandoned projects, abandoned at different stages.
Yep. Sounds about
Finally, yeah, yeah, lots of expired domains there. My final year, I finally got together with a couple of friends, started a startup, um, managed to run it for about 2 years before we, kicked the can, so to say. I'm not even sure if that's the right figure of speech to use. And then after that, I worked for some time as a software engineer before moving to the UK to do a master's in cybersecurity. Security is always something I've been interested in even before the masters. It's like I was always the paranoid guy in the room when you know software developers generally are not like super conscious about security, right? I was always the extra paranoid guy. Oh, what if someone had this, or what if someone did this? Um, but yeah, after the masters, I wasn't able to find a job in cybersecurity. So I went back to software development for a while, just to get the money. Like I have to survive. I have to pay bills one way or the other. Like even though like it was tough to get a role in cybersecurity, right? I actually got an offer.
Really?
But the company was toxic, so I couldn't take it. So I took the software development option, and I was there for a while. But now I'm into cybersecurity, and I'm also running a cybersecurity startup called Fezzant.
Okay.
Shameless plug. We're launching Cykea next end of this month or early next
You're
month.
launching.
A new product.
Nice. For
Yeah,
under
it's just
Fezzant
for
as well, yeah.
yeah, it's just for people who are like interested in cybersecurity. It's like a career focused platform where you can learn, do practical tasks, and hear from like actual people that have worked in the industry,
Mm.
sharing their experience.
I think that's
Anyway,
important
that's
actually.
yeah, that's a very long and scattered intro, but yeah,
No, you actually give us the more arranged intro, but I want to make a quick confession. Every time I've come across your startup, I pronounce it like a Frenchman. I pronounce it as Fezzant.
yeah, I know. I know
it
it's not.
sounds
It's
it sounds more sophisticated, and I think you guys should actually adopt, pronouncing it like that as well. Oh, where do you
funny
work? Oh,
enough, like
I work at the Fezzant.
so,
I don't know. I just
so
feel like it's a bit more.
actually, like yeah, I've gotten that. Talking to people ask me, is it a French? Is it a French thing? Is it Fezzant? And I'm like, no, it's Fezzant. It's just the name of a bird. It's not that interesting. uh,
Mm. I actually didn't know that was
yeah,
the name of
that's
a bird. I should look that up.
yeah,
Ali, thank you so much for the intro. That was quite the intro. Told us a lot, and we still want to know more because I mean we have a lot to talk about today. But um before we get into that, we would like to know how you got into tech in the first place, right? I mean, like your origin story. What's your origin story like? Did you just wake
yeah,
up one morning and be like, I think cybersecurity is going to be a thing in 20 years from now. So,
yeah,
how did that happen? How did you get into tech? School, education. Why did you decide to do cybersecurity in your masters? All of that. So, I'd like to hear it.
yeah, yeah. So I think I touched on part of that in my intro, but yeah, let me start from the beginning. So yeah, like I can't remember when actually, but I can't remember exactly when I started getting interested in tech. But I know I've always been interested in computers. Courtesy of my dad, we always had at least one at home. Um, and we used to like play games, play with like Microsoft tools like PowerPoint, do all sorts of weird stuff, and like experiment. So yeah, I've always been like interested in computers. At some point, I've had like so many different different goals. At some point, I wanted to like design microchips for some reason. At some point, I wanted to be a a, a computer engineer. At some point, I wanted to at some point I wanted to be an ethical hacker. So I wanted to do cybersecurity. So changing dreams of every like as my mood sees fit, but most of the time it's always consistent with computers. I've never thought of I want to be a doctor and all that stuff. But I I actually applied to do computer science, which I'm glad I didn't get. Um, the
What?
the
That's
cutoff
actually
points.
that's actually quite rude. First of all, you have to explain yourself. You can't just say that
Yeah,
and just
no,
move
I
past
yeah,
it.
I'm explaining I'm explaining myself. So I applied to computer science. The cutoff mark was 200, and I had 195, I think.
So that wasn't our
Um,
fault then.
yeah, chillax. Let me get let me get let me get there. So I had to look for like something else to do,
Mm.
and I found out about ICS, Information and
Mm.
Communication Science, and I saw like the course content and everything. So it was looking reasonable. I was like, oh, nice, this isn't bad. And then I started. Then I started hearing what you guys are doing in computer science.
Oh my god.
Like
Oh my god.
I had only You asked for the origin story. I had
Yeah,
only
continue.
like two maths courses I was doing. For some reason, they made sure everyone did maths in 100 level in first year,
Yeah.
and that was 2 semesters, right? And I passed with a 40, like on the dot in the first semester. The second semester, I failed it. I had to do it again the next year. And you guys were doing it like every single
We did like eight.
semester. You had like, yeah, and you guys did physics, freaking
Yes.
plant biology. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Plant biology. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'm actually like I'm doing one math and one statistics in my first year, and that's it. I'm not doing any maths again. And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually glad I didn't make the cutoff point.
Okay. I understand, I understand.
Yeah,
Well, you see,
things work
yeah,
out.
things, I think things do work out actually.
Yeah,
Uh so what inspired after school, after uni, what inspired, going into
yeah,
cybersecurity for masters?
yeah. Again, so like during uni, in our first year, we just gathered, a couple of guys. One of my secondary school friends said, "Oh, you're interested in programming, right? You can program, right?" Yeah, 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 yeah. Small, we did done. Then he was like, "Oh, I have a couple of guys that are interested also, and they want to like, learn together and build, learn together basically and do stuff." And then it took me to their hostel. It was like the tech version of when you get introduced to the cartel, basically. um, so we started learning, how to code and everything. Had so many ideas for projects that we abandoned at the idea stage. Sometimes we actually started working on it and abandoned it. Sometimes we actually had a website up and somehow end, ended up getting abandoned.
Mm.
And yeah, so what inspired me to do cybersecurity in my master's? I guess when the opportunity to do a master's came, I just thought about. I remembered that, oh, cybersecurity is something I'm always interested. I've always been interested in, and yeah, it was a no brainer for me. Even though like I could have gone and done software engineering because that's what I was doing, but
Mm.
it's like the same thing, more of the same thing. So I
Yeah,
wanted something different.
something
Yeah.
different. Okay, that
There was
makes
also
sense.
the option of data science that for some
Mm.
reason I was considering. Then I was like, wait, sit down. Do
Mm.
you like statistics? Do you like maths? No. Then yeah, no, I'm not applying for data science. That was my decision
Oh,
making process.
what uni did you end up going to?
University of Salford,
Okay, all right, cool.
not Stanford, Salford.
Yeah, we got that, bro. We got that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
No, no, I've actually told people like when I was telling someone asked like, "Oh, what university are you going to?" I was like, "Salford." Like Stanford. No,
I think
relax.
I don't think
Not
people
Stanford.
say University of Stanford. I think they say Stanford University. So that should actually,
Yeah, yeah, like doesn't. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's how I decided to do cybersecurity in my masters, and that's
Yeah.
the rest. They say is
How would you define cybersecurity?
cybersecurity is just it's very broad, but the main guiding principle is protecting computer systems from malicious attacks or unauthorized use. And the main principles of cybersecurity are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Keeping information confidential, making sure the right people have the right access, making sure information isn't tampered with, and making sure it's available to like the legitimate users, basically.
So cybersecurity is not limited to like the internet.
Exactly. It's not limited to the internet. It might be local networks. It might be anything that's related to protecting, you know, cyber systems, which is computer systems, network systems.
So
There's information security, which is more broad in that it covers not just things that are computer related or cyber related. It also covers information that is stored on paper, like physical access and all that stuff.
Mm,
So information security is like the broader term,
mm.
Okay,
but
that makes sense.
pretty much being used interchangeably nowadays to the utmost disgust of some some OGs.
I understand. Just like when people say, you're not a software engineer, you're a software developer. Please get your terms right.
Yeah.
I
I don't think they're
understand.
related, but yeah,
It's
we
probably
move.
related now. People, it's just said utmost disgust. Like, people use it
No, no, no.
interchangeably in our field.
Like developer and engineer is it's practically the same thing.
Yes, but
Like
like
for
some
us,
many people don't
which people? I've not come
oh
across anyone that
that's
disagrees.
sad. I have a
I
friend
think
that has
is
a I have a
I think
friend that
it's
has a
those
software
who want to
engineering
be
degree.
called engineers that
Look,
would take a pee,
I have a
and
friend.
the OGs don't really care.
Some OGs care. I have a friend that has a software engineering degree.
Maybe they should reconsider being an OG.
I didn't say she was an OG. Wait, let me know. Just
Okay.
let me just stop talking in case she listens to this.
All right. So Ali, do you
Yeah.
think people are taking cybersecurity as seriously as they should? Before you answer, I already know that you don't think so. But like, how how dangerous like would it be like if people keep on taking it the way they're currently taking it?
Well, the thing is that, well, yeah, no, that's the answer, of course. Um, and the thing is that the problem started. The problem started. Why we're in the mess that we're in now. Problem started because um the bare bones, right? Like the initial setup of software, hardware, like everything that you know that form the basis of what we are doing today, were not designed with security in mind, because
Mm,
initially there wasn't really hacking like that, like it was just, oh, we're connected and we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
mm,
So a lot of things were built without security being the main focus. And then
mm,
now we just have to plug the gaps, really. And another problem is that training of like people in tech, you can become a software developer and you don't know too much about security. Your own is just like, oh, just build this stuff, is working fine. Just need to do my tasks and ship features,
mm,
which is not our fault, right? It's not your fault. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. It's just the
Mm-hmm.
way it is,
mm.
which means we end up building more vulnerable
Yeah,
systems,
yeah.
and we have to patch after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people are doing security by design nowadays, and the best security really is like when you're building it from the ground up, and not when you're just patching stuff.
Yeah.
Think of it like this: imagine if you know civil engineers and architects, I don't know, like people that build houses and stuff. Imagine if they were trained, but they were not really trained in security, in safety, and they build your house, and it's like, oh, now the security, I mean the safety, trained safety experts can come and look at the house and see, what might make the house come crashing down and collapse, and then fix it.
Mm,
Compare that with how it is currently in building. I think like safety is one of the main concerns. Like a building, you won't start building a house or whatever without actually thinking about safety,
yeah.
right? Like it's baked into the actual design,
Mm.
and of course they still follow up with safety measures as it's being built. So imagine that situation if that wasn't the case. That's what we're in right now.
Mm. Can I disagree a bit?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So regular houses are not
Yeah.
secure. So we can easily break into like regular houses.
Oh,
House like
sorry, I wasn't talking about security against like breaking in. I was just using
okay.
the analogy in terms of safety. Like, imagine if they built your
I mean,
house and
softwares are pretty safe. when I mean safe, I mean because the analogy says your house should not maybe crumble or something, right?
Yeah,
I use software every day, and at least they don't crumble. Do you
yeah,
understand? So the
yeah. It's
analogy
not. I
might
know
not
it's
work in
not
that
an it's not
sense.
an apples and oranges
it,
um
it comparison.
comparison, right?
Yeah,
But I think the comparison still goes in the sense that like safety in terms of apps, websites, and basically digital services um is security basically.
yeah, that makes
It's not
sense.
safe. It's not safe to use a website if it's like very easy to just bypass everything because your personal details are stored there and get stolen. Um, but to answer your question, I was onto something there, but I think I went off on a tangent. I think your question was on potential effects or if like it continues this way. I think we're going to continue building vulnerable systems. We're going to continue patching. We're going to keep playing catch up because um cybersecurity is always evolving. There are like different orishi types of threat actors out there with orishi different skill levels,
Yeah.
and some of them are actually quite organized. You have like underground hacking rings. You have
Mm.
ransomware gangs, ransomware as a service. It's a real thing, by the way. I'm not kidding.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, like
I'm
you
just
can
learning
you
that for
can
the first
actually,
time.
yeah, they have these services where instead of you having to build your own ransomware, let's say you're good at intrusion, right? You're very good at bypassing networks and systems, but you're not good at coding or building ransomware. All you have to do is rent a ransomware from one of those ransomware as a service providers. Hive is one of them, and they license
Wow.
they license their software to you, and they
Is
just take
this
a cut
is this
from from
illegal?
the from the. Of course, it's illegal. Like,
So why are governments not trying to stop it? Why are people not trying to? Anyway, sure. There are a
well,
lot of illegal
that
things that are still running. So
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the good thing is, um, it's something that is gaining more and more attention. Governments are paying attention now, and a lot of these gangs or organized, not just organized ones, but there are some of them that are state sponsored, right?
wow.
Like Russian, Russian, Chinese. I'm
Mm,
sure there are some of them
Interesting.
are sponsored by some Western countries as well, but you won't see them in Western news, of course.
of course. Because
like every
Westerners
like
control
every major
the
world
narrative
powers,
basically.
yeah, every major world power probably, in my opinion, probably has like some underground shit going down in terms of
Mm,
hacking. I mean, who wouldn't?
mm,
If
Yeah.
your enemies are doing it, you should probably get your own as well. And yeah, some of them are state backed, which means it's very difficult to track them down without
mm,
the cooperation of the governments in the country where they are based. Like how what do you have to, what can you do about it at that point, right? You just have to defend yourself against it and make sure that their targets within your own territory are
yeah,
also like well prepared.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So
So yeah,
Ali,
the threat is very pervasive. It is growing, like it's evolving every time, and you can't say we have the perfect security solution for everything because there's so many different threats out there that are as we get better at securing our systems, they get better at circumventing the security
yeah.
measures.
So I'm curious. You mentioned um trying to tackle with this issue from the ground up. So like let's say you're building a startup. Let's say you're building a startup on the web, not a startup,
Hmm.
a product on the web. And you mentioned it's more advisable to get your security on lockdown when you're building, not after you've built. So who do you think should be responsible for this? Do you think each and every company should start saying, okay, uh, I've hired my back end guy, I've hired my back end or my front end person, my back end person. now I have to hire my cybersecurity person, right? Or do you
Yeah.
think it's something that maybe back end people should have in their um, in their tools or in their tool set, or front end people, or both parties, right? The engineers, like if you're going to become a software engineer, or if you're going to become any type of engineer, mobile, whatnot, you have to have cybersecurity on lockdown, or do we have to go outside and start hiring cybersecurity engineers themselves? You get and all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you ask me, left to me, yes, everybody should hire a cybersecurity person. Yes, more jobs for us. But the that's a very good question, right? Very interesting question. We have so in terms software engineers should learn, you know, secure development best practices, secure coding principles. Like some of these attack, like why is SQL injection still a thing in
Right.
2022? I mean, I know there's lots of like there's some very advanced SQL injection attacks, but most of the SQL injection attacks that happen in recent times are not advanced at all. Like stuff like that is easy, relatively easy to prevent. So if we have more software developers or software engineers that understand the main risks, and they understand how to code securely, how to write secure code, how to prevent these um common attacks from happening. That's a good starting point, right? There's the OWASP project. I'm sure you guys might have heard about it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like stuff like that. Following those best practices
Mm,
at least to give you like a baseline of security. But
mm,
it doesn't just start and stop on the application layer, right?
mm.
There's the network layer. There's the your infrastructure itself where that app is being hosted. If it's not configured securely, you've opened more holes.
Mm.
So there's
Okay.
different. You can't focus on just one aspect. You have
Yeah.
to have a broad view of the security of your platform
Yeah.
and implement controls.
Okay.
So yeah, you need to understand like what kind of data you're collecting, where the data flows, how the data
Okay.
flows through your system,
Okay.
um, potential loopholes that you might be creating, and all this stuff
Okay.
should be done like at the design level. You need to also
Okay.
do like threat modeling. There's lots of things that you can do to protect your application,
Okay.
but might as well just hire someone that is responsible for that and that can guide that process.
Okay.
Mm.
So
But there needs to be at
that's
least like the person you have a CTO. Your CTO should know about security.
probably not everybody has a CTO, sure.
Well, you should have at least one person who is taking ownership of that. They might not be
All
like
right.
an expert or whatever, but by doing research and trying to do the best,
Mm.
at least you'll be much better off than just winging it, basically.
I feel you. I actually agree as well. I'm going to talk about some misconceptions, especially I think around software
Sorry,
development in
one more thing.
general
Sorry, one
and
more
tech.
thing. One more thing.
No, go
One
on,
more
go on.
thing. Give your software developers access to the Cykea platform where they can
Okay,
learn about cybersecurity.
don't worry. You have all the time to plug in your products. Don't worry. We still have a couple of things to talk about. But I want to
Yeah.
talk about some misconceptions in tech in general. So we have this episode where we talked about was it stereotypes or myths? I don't know which one. Was it what did we talk about? I can't remember. It's been a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
think it's yeah, I think it's that one.
Yeah,
It's how you
yeah.
guys show on tech into every word for me.
Yes, yes. We call it breaking stereotypes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was mostly my idea because I love concatenating words together. Emmanuel said, "No, we're not going to call this episode that." I'm like, please, please, let's just join the words together. So, in that episode, we actually talked about how when we were or when we got into tech or when we're transitioning, well, not transitioning because we did not transition from anywhere. That's the first thing we did. So when we're getting into
Yeah.
tech, we had a lot of friends that when you told them, oh, you code now or you're studying computer science, and the first thing that comes to their mind is, hacker, you're a hacker. Can you hack?
Hacker,
Can you help
yes.
me? Can you hack? Yeah, can you help me hack? Blah blah blah. So I feel
Yo,
like
can you help me hack my boyfriend's WhatsApp?
exactly,
Or
exactly.
like,
Please,
yo,
nobody should
I
have my
had this
WhatsApp. Oh,
or like or can you how can I make share my live location but
yeah,
appear in a different
yeah.
location to the other
That's
person?
so specific.
Yo,
Bro, that's like
I had
that's so
someone
spam.
I had someone invite me to their house when I was still in uni. I had someone invite me to their house, and he asked me. He was basically asking me to, create a phishing site, right? But if you see the way
Yeah,
this person explained it, oh my god, it was so
I've
sweet
gotten so many
and
of those
and
requests.
interesting. It was almost like I was building a church website. Nothing is going to go wrong. I just need you to take the person to another place, and nobody's going to. He explained it so eloquently, like you wouldn't have even thought that this guy wanted to do something illegal, right? He was saying it so
Yeah.
nicely. When it was just done, I was just like, "Don't worry, I'll give you a call," blah, 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 because I was in his house for the first time. How I got there, I don't know. Why I was there, I don't know. I didn't want them to lock
I
me
think you
inside.
find
But
for
see,
Yahoo Boy side.
is a long story. It's a very long story, but that's that. So my question is, I think there's a problem, right? I feel like hacking, right? The concept of hacking, people, breaking into people's cyber properties. It's more popular than cybersecurity itself. I feel like a lot of young people
Yeah.
may, I'm not saying this is like definite, a lot of people may actually be more interested in finding out about cybersecurity if they even knew it exists. I don't think a lot of people know cybersecurity exists. The first thing the most
Yeah.
common thing that they
That's one of
think
the
of.
things Cykea is trying to do, like,
Oh my
help
god.
more people know about
That's
cybersecurity.
interesting. That's interesting. Everybody, Cykea is trying to do that. Yes. But I want you to explain to me why you think that's happening. Why is hacking more popular than, stopping hacking? It feels like, trying to it feels like, breaking into people's, you know, internet or whatnot, internet property or whatever is more popular than, or is more um what's the word? Is he admirable or because if people learn that you're a hacker, people
uh,
are like hacker, yes, Omar, I have so many things I'd love you to hack. But if people learn, oh, you're a cybersecurity expert, what's that? Well, what's
yeah, okay, actually, let me start this way, right? First of all, hacking is not bad.
mm, okay,
It
okay,
depends on what you're hacking
okay,
and what you're doing. Like, if you're if you're accessing something that you're not authorized to access, or like unauthorized access to like computer systems, obviously that's illegal.
okay.
But like hacking your own Wi-Fi, right? It's your property. You can
Mm,
hack it
that's
without
that's
any.
that's. I don't like what you're
It's
doing
fine.
right there. I
Or
don't like what you're doing
or
right
like
there because most people would not say
wait.
I'm hacking my Wi-Fi. Most people won't say that.
So there's actually a field in cybersecurity called ethical hacking. There's um penetration testing as well. So what these guys do is they are given permission to hack a company's systems to find out what the vulnerabilities are, or like how those vulnerabilities can be uh exploited, so that to help the company understand their systems better and to understand how to protect it. So that's hacking for good, right? But if you go around like hacking into companies, stealing data and all that stuff, that's hacking for bad, basically. But even if you're hacking for good, if you hack a company and you say you're doing it for their own good, that's still illegal because you don't have authorization to do that.
Mm,
So hacking, yes, there's people within cybersecurity that hack to that are authorized by certain companies to hack them on their behalf.
Mm.
to understand the systems better and to find out,
Okay.
okay, how do we actually protect it,
Yeah.
right? Hack yourself before the bad guys do it, basically.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. And like, oh yeah, going back to your, yeah, so hacking is a subset within cybersecurity, and a lot of people trying to get into cybersecurity, they think, or hacking, I mean, penetration testing or ethical hacking is like what most people in cybersecurity do. That's not really true. Like, there are a lot of people within cybersecurity that are not even very good hackers, but they are
Mm.
very good at their job. There's like cloud security, um, governance, risk and compliance. There's people that
Okay.
do there's 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 a place for behavioral science in cybersecurity.
Okay.
There's people that do what's it called? There's cybersecurity consultants. There's people that do um that manage like security operations centers, which is just like monitoring the systems to like see if there's an incident going on so you can react quickly. There's so many fields within cybersecurity, but like you said, hacking is like even more popular than cybersecurity itself.
Yeah.
So I think the problem is Hollywood, like movies, TV series, like it's been portrayed as something. It's been portrayed in a way that the word hacking itself has like a bad connotation to it, and at this point, there's nothing we can do, nothing we can do about it,
Mm.
right? But the only thing we can do is to try and spread the message, talk more openly about cybersecurity,
Mm.
help people become more aware of these things, because even on a personal level, right, your there are some things that you might fall victim to
Mm.
on a personal level. Like your Instagram can get hacked if
Mm.
you click on the wrong link and
Mm.
they harvest your credentials. You might click on a phishing link, for instance. Like there's these things that everybody should, or more people should know about to prevent, you know, those kind of things from happening. But yeah, that's the problem. That's how it's blame it on Hollywood. Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of like other roles or other aspects of cybersecurity. Do you mind listing every possible concept or subgroup or sub anything under cybersecurity, just to give our
That I
audience
can
a bit
remember.
of
That I can
a
remember anyway.
yeah, yeah, of course,
So
because I also don't know some of those things you mentioned. So yeah.
yeah. So there's, let me just start from the most common ones. There's the penetration testers or ethical hackers. I already explained what those ones do. There's the, excuse me. There's the SOC analysts, and SOC means, no, not like socks that you wear on your feet, but the security operations center.
Oh, okay.
That's where the
SOC.
like all the, yeah, that's where all the monitoring tools are, and they have like logs, events, alerts. When there's suspicious activity, they can quickly get on it and investigate. And if it's something that, a serious incident, they can now escalate it. Or if it's something that is maybe a false positive, it's their job to basically ascertain whether any like alert or any activity is actually malicious,
Mm.
and then escalate it to the next level, for to be properly addressed. There's people that do incident response, is closely related to the SOC, but incident response specifically is, um, if you have an incident response plan in place, you have people that are designated to like, if something is going down, like you have to trigger the incident response plan. People,
Mm.
if it's at midnight, there are people that might be on call to like, okay, you have to wake this person up, you have to wake this set of people up to come and like
So
respond to
those
the incident.
incidents, guys, are they specifically for cybersecurity? Because I know other companies too have like incident management, and it's not only for cybersecurity.
Yeah,
For instance, I
yeah.
do incident management too.
Oh, what's the incident management that you do?
So
Big
it's for
boy.
my team. No, no, it's not a big boy. So it's
Yeah,
like
managing
no.
incidents.
So that's that days where I'm on call. So if anything
Yeah.
breaks within my team, I'll be the
Oh,
one
right, I
to.
understand. So it's
Yeah.
kind of similar to that, but focused on cybersecurity. Like,
Okay.
if it's a security incident,
Okay.
you
Okay.
you have a plan in place that will put in motion when something goes down.
Okay.
Um, there's people that do security awareness, which is like trying to educate
Like
the
Cykea.
company as a whole. Yeah, like Fezzant.
Like Fezzant. Okay.
Yeah. So what they do is try to educate the company, like people from all departments, about
Mm.
cybersecurity, trying to build a security culture within the organization. Um, there's people that do security engineers, right? Security engineers, what they do is put security controls in place.
Yeah.
They look at the organization's security posture as a whole and think of ways that they can plug gaps and implement controls to defend against attacks.
Okay.
Um, there's and like configuration as well, secure configuration of services.
Okay.
And then within security engineering, there's network security engineering, focusing on, of course, networks, application security engineers, cloud security engineers. You get the picture.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
actually. If you could
Yeah.
make a
Then
list
there's
for us, that would be
Yeah.
really
yeah, sure,
nice.
Yeah. So
sure.
that we can add it to the show notes. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that. There's also like there's DevOps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's DevSecOps. People that they know DevOps, but they know
Oh,
security as well.
there's actually a team like that in my company. I was like, what the hell is this guy's doing?
Oh, that's interesting. Though. I've actually never heard of them before. DevSecOps.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, come on, they could have gotten a better name. What the hell?
Oh, what would you rather call them, Emmanuel? What would you rather call them?
I don't know, but that name. What? It's so long and it's now abbreviation. So what's the full meaning?
I mean,
Developer
sec
operation security. What?
the,
Developer
the
security operations.
Okay, yeah,
Development
yeah,
that makes sense.
security.
security operations. Yeah.
I don't know,
So
man.
so I'm guessing it has to do with preventing systems from being hacked just because they have like elevated security. Sorry, they have elevated credentials, things like CI/CD, right?
Yes. So making sure that those things are securely configured, like deployment pipelines. Because again, like if your deployment pipeline gets compromised,
That's the end, honestly.
you're literally shipping a signed, trusted
Yeah,
version of your product that is actually malicious, which is
Mm.
what
yeah.
happened with the SolarWinds hack. I'm not even going to get into that. Like that's
Oh,
that's another
yo,
long conversation.
actually, we need you to get into that because we would also like to talk about real life examples of security breaches, that have had
Yeah,
really big impacts on the world, right? Because I feel like people need to know that, oh, look, this was a very tiny slip up, and then 2 million passwords ended up in hackers' hands, right, and all of that. So I don't know,
yeah.
tell us
So yeah,
about.
let's talk about some real life security incidents.
Yeah.
So let me start with the SolarWinds hack. Like when it happened, I was like, damn, this is some this is some crazy stuff.
Was this
So
recently?
no, this actually happened towards the end of 2020, but it's still being talked about because it's like was a massive incident. It was like Avengers Endgame stuff, right?
Yeah.
uh, and it was that bad mostly because SolarWinds. Okay, let me give you some background story, right? There's SolarWinds. It's a company that provides lots of software for IT systems like networking. They actually also have like security products as well. Funny enough,
Okay.
and one of their softwares is called Orion, which is the one
Okay.
that was breached. There's
Okay.
also a company called FireEye. It's one of the it's one of the most prolific security companies out there, and um so they announced that, yo guys, we've been hacked though.
Okay.
That's such an
wait,
announcement.
wait. The security guys announced that they've been
Yeah,
hacked.
yeah. So like it was a there's this thing called advanced persistent threats, APT. Those are
Okay.
like, so if you have um your script kiddies, which are the ones guys that just download scripts off the internet and deface websites, you
Okay.
have like your hackers, you have your organized cybercrime gangs,
Okay.
then you have your APTs, which those are the ones I talked about. That some of them are state sponsored,
Okay.
right? So they suspected that a particular APT attacked them and
Sorry,
stole
what's APT?
advanced persistent threats.
Okay.
Okay.
They have like lots of funding, they have lots of like skills, connections, and everything.
Okay.
So some APT attacked FireEye, stole some um tools that
Okay.
FireEye uses to help companies assess their security posture. But those tools can be used to hack companies, right?
Okay.
That's why like
Okay.
FireEye keeps it to themselves. But they
Okay.
stole some of those tools, hacking tools, and FireEye was like, "Yo, so something happened though.
I like
This
that. Oh.
something happened though." And then actually they responded really quickly, and um they released some tools that you can use to defend against their tools
Man.
that were stolen, right?
Man.
And then a few days later, FireEye uncovered an attack on SolarWinds. Like, yo,
Mm.
this is what happened. SolarWinds Orion software has been compromised, and this shit has gone down for months. It's like
Wow.
it's like, yeah, all of you are using compromised versions of the software,
Wow.
and um they named it Sunburst because I mean SolarWinds.
Mm.
Yeah, security people are good with
Do they have
names.
to? Do they have to name
Uh,
every single attack so people just know that?
they don't have to name it, but it's just like it makes it more dramatic and stuff.
Attention,
You
please.
have
Operation
names like,
Sunburst has
yeah,
begun. Operation Sunburst has begun.
yeah. They have like very interesting names like, well,
Yeah.
Eternal Blue and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, this is what happened, and it had already been downloaded in like so many, like thousands of companies had already downloaded like that compromised version.
Okay.
And at that point it was like, yeah, lots of companies around the world were literally vulnerable
Okay.
to a
Mm.
known malicious software.
Mm.
And how it happened was their development pipeline was compromised.
Mm. Okay. I have a question. Yeah. So
Yeah,
basically, if whatever software you're using does not have access to the internet, say I download something like VLC Media Player right now, and
hmm,
my internet connection is off flight mode. I'm just watching movies. I have no access to the internet. I'm not updating the
yeah,
software. Nothing. Is there still a
yeah.
way that I can get hacked?
Well,
Is
not
that
get hacked
possible?
specifically, but
Like, can
like
can they get into my VLC, or can they get into my system?
not exactly, not like, not in a conventional, not in a like, oh, they're hacking you way, but in
Okay.
a, you just downloaded malware onto your laptop way,
Okay.
and the malware is spreading,
Okay.
deleting important files or encrypting your files
Okay.
and asking you to pay a ransom,
Okay.
right?
So,
So
is it possible for the ransom to also get access to his network drivers or something and turn them on without you knowing?
yep, that's also possible. So
Wow.
the fact that your internet is turned off doesn't mean you haven't already downloaded something
Oh wow. That's how that
that
is.
would
That's
like,
actually
the
scary.
VLC itself that you download, the VLC itself that you downloaded, right? Did you actually download it from VLC themselves, or did you go to like a weird mirror
Damn.
website?
No, let's just say I downloaded it from VLC, right?
Yeah.
You know. So basically, the only way to not, like someone said, the most secure software is no software. Or how does that saying go? Like,
You can't get hacked if you don't use the internet. If
okay,
everything is disconnected. I actually
okay,
used it in a job. Did this in a job interview. they asked him to do a presentation on like, oh, how would you secure a cloud environment?
Mm.
And my slide actually had this meme on it. Can't get hacked
Did
if
you
you
get
only
the
use
job?
paper. Like, yeah, I did.
Uh-uh.
Stop
Bad
using
guy.
cloud.
Nice.
Bad. Flex on us. Flex on us, bro.
You asked. I'm not flexing. You asked, and that was like that's why I said. And I used that meme of this guy roll safe where he was like
Yeah. I know it. I
think
know it.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, there's this um attack, real world attack. I also want to talk about. This one is actually something that um I wouldn't even call it hacking, right? But it's an attack. Definitely an attack because it
Okay.
cost two big tech companies
Okay.
over $200 million over the course of a few years.
Wow.
How did he do it? So there's this guy in Lithuania, right? Um, he somehow found out that I think it was Facebook and Google somehow found out that Quanta Computing is a company based in, I can't remember where they're based in, but it's based in an Asian country, I think, and they actually supply hardware to these big tech companies for their cloud infrastructure and stuff.
Okay.
So I was like, how do I get to these people? He created an identical company called Quanta Computing in Lithuania.
Okay.
So an actual company
Wow.
in Lithuania used that company to create bank accounts with the company's name and started like
Hmm.
intercepting. It's called business email compromise, sending invoices to employees of the victim companies, sending invoices like,
So
oh yeah,
who were the victims? Like these big companies? Was Facebook part? Facebook.
yes, it was
Okay.
Facebook and Google, I think,
Facebook and
and
Google. Wow.
Wow.
Google does not even
yeah,
look like a
that guy.
company that can ever get
Can
hacked.
be hacked.
Did the guy get
So
jail
here's the
time?
thing, right? Here's the
Did
thing.
they catch him?
He Let me finish the story. Yo, stop
I'm
asking for
sorry. I'm
spoilers,
sorry.
bro.
My
Like,
bad. My bad. My bad.
why are
My
you
bad.
skipping to season 4?
My bad.
Like,
Go on. Go on. Go on.
so yeah, like he created fake invoices, sent it to employees of these companies, and you know they interact a lot with quantum computing, right, to get their
Mhm.
hardware and stuff.
Mhm.
So it looked legit, right?
Yeah.
It's just another invoice for them. I mean, to you it might sound like it's just an example, right? I don't know what the sizes of each invoice that he sent was,
Yeah.
but just imagine $2 million, and it's like what you do daily, like you
Yeah.
approve
Like
payments
a company like
to
Facebook or
to
Google.
your
I mean.
normal suppliers,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, this guy over the years, this guy managed to use that technique to rape them off of like over $200 million. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
eventually, yeah, and he was using bank accounts in Quanta Computing's name, his own Quanta Computing that he registered in Lithuania to collect these funds. I think
Didn't they think, oh my god, this is odd. When did these people change their bank? Didn't they call to ask or whatnot? I don't know.
that's the thing, right? That's why cybersecurity awareness is important. That's why you need to keep training your staff and keeping them informed,
Mm,
and just reducing their susceptibility to
mm,
social engineering attacks, because this is a kind of social engineering attack called
mm,
business email compromise.
yeah.
It's a lot. That's a hush puppy. Anyway, that's a different conversation.
Ooh.
Actually,
But
if we wanted to talk about those set of people from Nigeria and other countries,
it,
that would be a totally different episode.
yeah,
We should
yeah,
probably
that's a totally different conversation.
we should
Yeah, probably to demystify exactly what they did.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like a cool episode. I might steal it for Cyber
No,
Talks
no, you won't.
podcast.
You'll be back here. I assure you.
Anyway,
So
as I was saying, right,
okay.
they eventually like caught up to him, collaborated with Lithuanian police to arrest him, and my guy was shipped to the US, visa free,
Is it
convicted,
is it
and
still in
served
is it
jail
still
More
in
time.
that's
jail?
the scariest, you know.
I'm not sure. This was quite a while back, so I'm not sure if he's still actually still in jail. But
Okay.
yeah,
That's
of
like
course they would just
extradition now.
yeah,
Abi?
sure they'll just
Or
deport him back
extradition.
like once he serves his jail time. So
Okay. I want
I
to.
I think he would remain in the US jail for long, and they would maybe turn him to CIA guy or something.
nah, it's not that. See,
It
what he
wasn't that
did
smart
wasn't that
actually. Wasn't that extraordinary?
like it's not yeah, it's not as if it's just his social engineering skills that he puts into play and
That's
just
enough.
trickery.
I mean,
It's not like he did some advanced hacking or anything like that. That's
the
the
social
scary part.
the social engineering ones are actually the best because
Yeah.
it's very hard to
This
detect. Like you can't prove that somebody stole your password from just talking to you or something. Do you get?
and the thing is, a lot of the time, right? The way people find out that they've been BAC'd is that their supplier calls them maybe 2 or 3 months later that this payment has been due for a while. What's going on? Where's our payment? That's actually how a lot of companies find out. They're like, wait, hold on,
Hmm.
we've sent this like 2 months ago. What's going on?
That's
And they
crazy.
realize that they sent it to the wrong account.
That's
That's
crazy.
And like
scary.
Yahoo boys are like flexing, buying Benz with the money you're supposed to use to pay your suppliers.
That's crazy, man. But
Yeah.
speaking of crazy, we have something crazy for you as well.
Hmm.
So, let's talk about a couple of concepts, like popular concepts in um cybersecurity or terms that you use, right? I just need you to like give us a short definition, maybe 30 seconds,
Yeah,
60
yeah,
seconds or less. All right. So it's more like rapid
yeah.
fire questions. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Uh,
sure. Let's go. This should
so
be fun.
I'm going to say the word and then you're going to like in the shortest way possible. Okay. Phishing.
Phishing is a social engineering technique
Okay.
used to trick people into performing an action. You usually send phishing emails to thousands or maybe even like hundreds of thousands of people
Okay.
with the expectation that maybe 1 or 2 people or like 10 people would click on it. It's like what you don't need every single person you send it
Okay.
to be successful. You just need you know you just
Okay.
need what you need.
Okay. Second term is social engineering.
Social engineering is a set of techniques that people use to manipulate other people into performing an action. So, clicking a link, filling a form with your credentials,
Okay.
logging into a duplicated website,
Okay.
giving out information on the phone. You get the picture.
Okay.
Um,
Third term
yeah.
is SQL injection.
SQL injection. Okay, let me know.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah. So, social engineering basically is finessing.
Mm,
Let me put it that way. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
okay.
My data has finished though. Chuka.
Okay.
Anyway, so SQL injection is basically typing commands into a form that or whatever is sent to a server and tricking the server into running your own commands,
Okay.
right? It's when the server treats your inputs as actual commands
Okay. Okay. Okay.
instead of just inputs. Yeah.
Okay. 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 And the last one is man in the middle.
Man in the middle attack is man in the middle attack is an attack where someone is just snooping in on a connection or a communication, and they might just snoop and eavesdrop, or they might actually like tamper and interfere with what's going
Okay.
on, or
Okay.
like change information and stuff. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
So is that why
That was
is
good.
that like is that why yeah, let's applaud him please. You did a very good job. It's
Woohoo!
not easy.
Actually, man in the middle. Ma- I just want to give a bit
Yeah,
more
yeah.
context.
Okay, sure.
So, man in the middle. Nowadays they are trying to like change the term to on path attack.
Okay.
I guess because man in the middle is not progressive enough. I don't know.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Well, is that why applications like WhatsApp say, oh, end-to-end encryption.
End-to-end
No,
encryption.
yeah,
Well, technically, you could do encryption, right, to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks.
yeah,
Like your Wi-Fi, your WPA2, whatever, is encrypted. Hopefully, you're not logging onto free Wi-Fi that's not encrypted, or
okay,
unsecure Wi-Fi
okay,
to log into your bank. 'Cause,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Um.
That was good.
So encryption prevents that kind of attack, but end-to-end encryption goes a step further to say, the only parties that can actually get access to
Are
this
the parties
information.
involved, basically?
Exactly. So it's end to end. It's
Mm.
done between the two or more devices that are
Okay,
communicating.
okay,
No one else has access to the keys.
okay. That makes sense.
So like WhatsApp themselves can't like snoop
Yeah.
on end to end encrypted messages. Yeah.
Mm. So we talked about hackers
Mhm.
as being not necessarily bad people, but people, there are different types of hackers, basically, the way you
Yeah.
have good and bad. So
Jedi and
when I
Sith.
was in 200 level, I
Mhm.
installed Linux with the hopes that I was going to be a hacker. I
But
was
was
actually
it Kali
reading.
Linux?
So I started off with Ubuntu, then I moved
Yeah.
to Kali, and
Yeah.
then from there I was trying other things. So I was actually reading a book. I can't remember the title of the book. It was a very big book about hacking.
Hmm.
I was like, I want to know how to hack. But the best I did was maybe hack like a Wi-Fi that had like a very basic password because it was in the dictionary I was using.
Hmm.
So why do you think Linux is a good? Uh, First of all, is Linux a good OS for like learning how to be a cybersecurity person? And if so, why is it a good OS for it?
Why is it recommended, by people?
Yeah. Everybody says go and download Kali Linux, and all of a sudden you're
Yeah,
a hacker.
yeah.
So good question. So cybersecurity is about understanding the principles, about having the skills and everything. The tools that you use actually help, and it helps to know the tools because it helps you to understand, okay, the right tool to use in a particular scenario. But people sometimes conflate that with knowledge about the tools is knowledge of cybersecurity, which is not the case, right? We can't put the something before the something, pause, whatever. Um,
The horse before the cat, or the cat before the horse.
yeah, you get the picture, you get the picture, you get the
I get
message.
it now because I just told you what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. Um, so so it doesn't really, in the real sense, it doesn't really matter what OS you're using. It's just that most of the tools, right? A lot of the tools from a hacking perspective, a lot of the hacking tools uh, have better Linux support. There are some things that you try to do, like it's not as if there's no Windows version for it to, but trying to do it on Windows is just like
Mm.
stressful sometimes.
Yeah,
So
I feel you.
Linux knowledge is definitely useful because command line, terminal, being able to understanding Linux is helpful, but
Yeah.
you might be a security engineer and the entire organization is heavily Windows based
Okay.
and you're literally not doing anything with Linux.
Mm.
That's interesting to know.
Windows, Azure
Yeah,
Cloud,
true.
Microsoft 365, everything is Windows. You're using PowerShell and things like that. You're not using
You.
Ubuntu or Kali Linux, right? So it just
PowerShell should be
depends on
destroyed, honestly.
Rest, rest. We get it. Use a
as a
Mac.
hot take.
Rest.
No. No, like I can use CMD, but that PowerShell. Why did they? Why? Like, what's the purpose?
PowerShell is not that bad.
It's actually quite
Quite
powerful.
that. I think that I guess that's the only thing. Power.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh,
Um
oh my god.
Commands don't run. The thing is, there's some commands that don't run on PowerShell but run on CMD. So like that
PowerShell
inconsistency is
is like
annoying.
it's not the same thing, right?
Exactly.
PowerShell is Windows equivalent to Bash or
No. Ah. Bash, like the same commands run on all kinds of slash
Terminals.
terminals on Linux.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
So speaking of passwords and speaking of passwords, so like when I was in university, right, there was a time I used to write like the list of websites that I had passwords with. I didn't write the password in the book. Oh. I just wrote,
Mhm.
okay, google.com, I have password. I'll
Yeah.
not write it down. I thought I'd be able to like keep doing that. But by now I should have maybe hundreds of accounts across services on the internet. So
Including
it's difficult for
including
me
wait
to
lists.
exactly. So it's
Yeah.
difficult
By the
for me
way,
to
join
track.
Cykea's waitlist.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'll consider that. So it's difficult to like keep track of everything. And one of the advice I usually give about passwords is that you should use a different password for every service. Now,
Is that
there was an
possible?
introduction of it's possible. There was an introduction of password, should I say, vaults. An
Hmm.
example is Bitwarden.
Hmm.
So how secure do you think those tools are? Because it's kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket. Because if they get access to that, then
Let
you
me
are
tell you,
totally
last pass got hacked. I think was it last week?
eh.
Last pass got
My
hacked
company
last week.
uses LastPass. I need to
But
get
the
notified.
thing is, don't panic yet. They didn't actually get access. Well, so far they don't have any evidence to
Ah,
suggest that they
that
got
means it's
access
possible.
to passwords,
Okay.
right? And passwords are encrypted anyway using your master password,
Mm,
right? But I mean, yeah, they got access to some source code and stuff like that. But the reputational damage has been done. That's the thing with cyber attacks as well. They have like so the impact goes far beyond the cyberspace, right?
okay.
Hmm.
The impact is far-reaching because reputational damage. LastPass is supposed to keep your password secure. They got hacked. The hack probably didn't involve like user data getting leaked. It was source code that got leaked. But that image is there already. Like
Yeah.
a company that is in talks to use LastPass as their enterprise password
They will change their
solution
mind.
and just pull out. They'll pull out from the deal. Be
Yeah.
like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go somewhere else. So it has financial impact, reputational damage. It's the amount what they're actually going to lose is almost immeasurable because like the impact is going to stick for a while.
Mm. There will always be that
Yeah.
company that got hacked at the end of the day.
So password
So
vaults are
back to
not
your
secure.
question, yes. So no, it's not no. Let me talk.
Why do people trust password vaults so much? I don't get it.
So the thing is, right, it depends on how it's been implemented. Some password managers or password vaults, like I said, are purely they're not cloud hosted, right? They're stored on maybe like on a hardware um store, whatever, hardware vault or a local vault or
Okay.
something like that. And
Okay.
like you said, passwords are encrypted using your master password,
Okay.
right? So they are no matter what, right? Like let's even say you're using a cloud version. I think LastPass is cloud. Let's say you're even using cloud version, is encrypted and stuff. It's still, in my opinion, way better. It's a much better strategy than just forming your own passwords and reusing passwords
Okay.
everywhere.
Okay.
Do you get?
Okay.
So it's still a much better strategy to protect yourself
Okay.
using a password manager.
Okay.
But yeah, of course, look at the different password managers. Choose like the one that or try and understand how they actually encrypt and keep your password safe as
Okay.
much as you can.
Okay.
Just go with one.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and the thing
In
is,
other
the
words,
the
non-technical people are in trouble.
no. No, you can watch reviews like honest reviews and stuff.
Ah.
I'm not going to recommend anything now because I haven't even done the research
Yeah.
to
Okay.
like understand all the different password managers out there. I'm sure people their
Bitwarden
YouTube
is open
channels that do it.
source anyways, so I don't know if that
If
counts as it
even
as
even
Yeah,
anything.
it's open
worse.
source,
So
meaning
it's on
like it's
GitHub.
open to no
Okay. Okay. My bad.
your passwords are not on GitHub, Chuka.
No,
It
no, no.
means
It meant
it's
like the source
open
code.
to yeah, it's open to it's open to scrutiny. It means like people can actually go and look at the source code, understand what's actually happening,
Mm.
And
and
hack it.
like it means it's probably I would probably be more comfortable using it.
Since I know how it
Mm.
works and
Like
stuff.
Signal is open source, and you
But
know
will you
that.
read all like Signal's source
No,
code
I won't,
just
but I know there are
because
people that do that. There are like people
those
that
are OGs, yeah.
the open source community like scrutinizes stuff like that. And you know, end to end encryption actually uses the Signal protocol. Most
Oh, really?
chat apps that use end to end encryption use Signal protocol. So the Signal app is different from like the end to end encryption protocol that they use, which is still called Signal anyway. So yeah, like if reusing passwords, right, is very dangerous because I mean you use like the chances that your Google account gets hacked or your password get leaked unless you fill a phishing form or
Mm.
something is relatively low, right?
Mm.
But let's say you're using that same password on like 100 different other services. Let's say you use the same password on Canva or something, and no offense to people that use Canva, and Canva Canva gets breached and your password gets leaked, right? That password is already out there, and if someone gets hold of that password, sure, the best believe that they are going to try it on all your other accounts, as many accounts as they can,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And that's it. It's gone. Canva actually got breached in 2019. I know because I have a Canva account. They didn't notify. I didn't see any email saying, "Oh, we've been breached. Oh, your password has been leaked." It was a year later when I used this online service, put in my email,
Mm.
and they told me, "Yeah, you've been involved in your details have been involved in a data breach. Change
What?
your passwords and everything."
How
Yeah,
do they know
you can
this?
actually do that right
Damn.
now. I'm going to send a link to you.
Okay.
It's called "Have I Been Pwned?"
Oh, crazy. I did not know this. Do you think, startups and companies that have been breached, do you think they have a support group where you're like, hi guys, my name is Canva. I was breached yesterday. Hello Canva, welcome to the group. You can share with us how you felt, and all of that. Because you just said, oh, Canva was breached in 2019, Facebook that was probably 20, and people are just how many of these companies have been breached? And do you think like companies that have never been breached, they are walking around campus like, yeah, no, ain't nobody can touch me, man. I'm like the OG of this. I just think that would be funny. They should make a Netflix series on that. Hey Netflix, can you
Yeah.
hear me?
So if you I sent a link.
Okay.
Have I been pwned? pwned
I would
dot
we
com.
would include that in
Um,
the show
do
notes.
it now. Like I want to see your reactions.
Okay, have I been
Put your
pawned?
email address and see.
Okay, I'm going to do that right now. Ah, God, please don't let them pawn me, please.
I'm like 90% sure you'll see at least two instances of your data being leaked. It might not be password. So usually when there's a data breach,
It's
sometimes
actually Canvas.
So there are a couple of products now or like websites out there that to log in you don't have to put a password again. They send you a verification code to your email, right?
a magic link.
Yeah, Magic Link exactly. What do you think? Is that best practice? Should people be allowed to do that? Because if someone has access to your email, then
Passworders protect us.
what?
It's just like magic spell
Oh
for
no!
a
Oh no!
magic link.
Oh
Yeah.
no! So like, is that what do you think about people that are implementing Magic Links more and more now? Is that something you do in your app on Fezzant?
So no comments. Passwordless authentications. Passwordless authentication is becoming a big thing now. Like major,
Mm.
Microsoft, Apple, Google are all like, trying to push it. Adoption is is the biggest issue here.
Yeah.
But passwordless authentication is something that's gaining ground now, and I think it's fascinating because it means it takes away that attack vector of the passwords,
Mm.
but the passwordless authentication systems themselves have to be well protected,
Mm.
because that's like like that's another, you're closing one attack vector, but
Opening up another
you're
one.
potentially opening up another one,
Mm.
right? But in terms of, user experience, I think passwordless is good, because for instance, let's say you have a password policy that you enforce.
Mm.
Use if it, like if a user wants to write a to create an insecure password, they will. If you like put, oh, you have to add a special character, they'll just put their cat's name with a capital, starting with a capital letter, and put 1 2 3 and put like two special characters or whatever it is.
That's Ali's
Doesn't
password,
mean, like, you
everybody.
get what I'm saying. Yeah,
That's Ali's
that's my
password.
password.
Yes. Cat's name, two special characters, and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think passwordless authentication is something that has, a lot of potential.
Mm.
I hope it is implemented properly,
Mm.
and we don't end up opening more holes, but
Okay.
we'll see.
Okay, Ali, I'd like to ask you how someone would most likely get into cybersecurity. I have a couple of friends that are looking to get into tech, but when you mention software development, they're like, nah, 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 nah. Design, nah. You mention every other thing. They're like, they're actually really fascinated with cybersecurity and they like to learn how to get into it. There are not a lot of
Very, very good
courses out
question.
there and schools or whatnot, but like,
Very, very good question.
so how would you advise someone?
Very good
Yeah.
question. Step one, go to Cykea.
Of course. I was expecting this.
Cykea.com.
Well, I
C
guess
Y
that's
K
valid.
E A
Yeah. Okay.
dot
CY.
Yeah.
com.
CY what?
KEA.
Okay. So apart from Cykea, what
Kia is
else?
actually the
What
name of
else?
Underbird.
Ugh. Do you have a thing for birds or something? Is this? I think you do.
Why the tone that you said
No,
that
do
in is
you?
very sus, so I'm not going to answer that question.
No, like,
Um,
do you love birds? Do you love birds? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, who doesn't? Right?
Some
Name of
people
the
don't
fly in
like.
it.
Do you like turkey? Turkey is a bird. Oh. Tolo tolo.
Well, I
What?
like grilled turkey, so
Please, how did cybersecurity become good? Okay.
That's discrimination. That's discrimination right there. All right. So apart from
anyway,
Cykea, what other advice would you give someone trying to get cybersecurity?
yeah,
Myths that you think they should remove from their mind, things you think they should focus
yeah.
on earlier in their career.
Well, first of all, there are lots of resources out there, right? A
Okay.
lot of them are free, some of them are paid. There's a lot of information out there. So the first step is actually be focused in your learning, right? If you start something, find a good course, Sakia. Find a good course, start it, and stick to it.
Okay.
Right? Don't go and start 5 different courses at the same time and just never finish anything.
Okay.
Because it's easy to do that because there's a lot to learn. So
Okay.
don't start digging yourself into different rabbit holes,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Have that focus. That consistency is a very good. A lot of things that apply to people getting into software development also apply if you're getting into cybersecurity. That
Okay.
consistency, you need to be consistent with your learning, understand what your learning style is,
Okay.
Mm.
and understand what works for you and just stick to it, right? You can't say because
That's so easy to say.
I'm
it's
telling
easy
you.
to say,
I'm
right?
telling you. But
You,
it's the
you, you
hardest
can't
thing
say
to do.
because, like,
Yeah.
you can't say because this influencer learner on Twitter says,
Hmm.
"Oh, I do five
Are
hours a
you
day."
keen for violence today?
Nah, 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 nah. I don't
You know, you
prescribe.
also become an influencer too.
No, no,
Very
no, no,
soon.
no.
Very soon.
I'm
Once,
not an influencer.
once anybody
Anyway,
that
We'll
leaves this
remind
like,
you.
podcast becomes an influencer automatically because your phone will start blowing
so
up.
yeah, don't say because like someone does 5 hours, I have to do 5 hours. Like, if it's 1 hour a day, it's much better than forcing yourself to do 5 hours
Yeah.
and then next day you don't have energy to do
Yeah.
anything again,
Yeah.
and you've lost that momentum.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much you do; it's about like how consistent you are.
Okay.
Um,
Any.
listening to cybersecurity podcasts
Yeah.
to learn about what's happening. Cyber
Let me
talks,
guess, like the one you just said it.
yeah, cyber talks,
Any books,
cyber
Nice.
any
talks.
books, any any books you'd recommend, any courses or some sorry certificates like certificate programs or something that people should
Yes.
look into?
So yes. There's three things. I haven't thought of the three things. I'm just saying three things because it's like I'm just going
It's
with the
more
flow. But
profound.
there's three things. Yeah, I'll find the third one. Don't worry. There's three things
Yeah.
that you need to take into consideration for to get into cybersecurity. Number one is the knowledge, of course, like learning. Number two is hands-on skills, right? Like if you want to if you want to learn about, if you want to go on an AppSec engineer, right? Start using those tools. Start hacking into web apps. Authorized, of course. There's lots of like web apps that you can download and hack on your own.
Mm.
Don't go and start hacking into
Don't go
PiggyVest
to
or
jail.
something. Like yeah. Um yeah, like gain those hands-on skills. Then the third one is certifications. Like you mentioned,
Okay.
certifications are important because they show that you're actually serious, that you're actually passionate about it, and it actually validates your knowledge as well.
Okay.
So Computer Security Plus is a good one
Okay.
because it covers like all the bases within cybersecurity. It doesn't go very in depth,
Okay.
but if you successfully get Computer Security Plus certified,
Okay.
right, it gives you the base knowledge that you need, and then you can now start like getting down
Okay.
into the details
Okay.
more. And when you're doing certification, please make sure you actually like pass the certification. I like actually understand the content. Don't go and use dumps and get the certificate just for getting it, right?
Mm.
Because once you have that certification, it's a good thing because it might get you to interviews and stuff. But it also, with great power comes, I don't know,
Responsibility.
you,
Good.
yeah,
Thanks, Uncle
like
Ben.
yeah. If they see Computer Security Plus on your CV, there's some certain things that they expect you to know
Yeah.
because literally you have to study them to pass the
Yeah. So don't
certificate,
cram and pour, basically.
right? Don't cram and pour. Don't go and use dumps. Don't cheat. Like there's no shortcut to this,
Mm.
right? And you know, stay consistent.
Mm.
Really, like that consistency is going to make a lot of difference.
Thanks, bro.
And yeah, start applying for jobs. Doesn't matter. I don't care how early you are. Start applying for jobs.
Mm.
Like you can't lose from applying for jobs.
But you lose all the time.
The
like
worst they can say is no.
exactly
Then
right.
they
You're not
reply.
losing
Then they
anything.
reply with you.
No. So like it gives you by applying for jobs, you're learning more about the
Yeah.
industry. You're learning more about you're looking at those job descriptions. You're trying to look at okay, these are the skills that I need to
Yeah.
learn, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? You might even get an interview. You might even get a job from it.
Yeah.
But keep your temper your expectations, of course,
Yeah.
and go and look at salaries on LinkedIn. That would help
For
with the
extra
motivation.
ginger. I feel you, man. I
Yeah,
feel
for
you.
extra ginger.
I feel
Go
you.
and look at
I
salaries
think I
in
think I should also go and check.
Emmanuel,
yeah.
can you face your work, please? I'll send this
It
episode
doesn't
to your
mean
manager.
it doesn't mean your first it doesn't
Okay.
mean doesn't mean you get that salary your first role, oh,
I
but
will get it.
at least you know that there's something to look
I
forward
am
to.
determined.
Yeah.
I'm
Yo,
determined.
Ali, we were so glad we had you on this episode, on this podcast today. We're really glad you came around. We've actually come to the end of the episode. But before we let you go, would like to ask you.
Finally I can go and eat. Oh,
Yes, you
okay.
can. But we'd like to ask you a very personal question, which we ask every other person that comes on the show for the first time. And the question is, what would you be doing if you were not in tech? If you never got into cybersecurity, never found
Oh,
that
interesting.
startup, never, never
Interesting.
did anything like, what would you be doing if your life never took that tech route? Yeah. What do you think you'd be into right now?
Interesting. So when you said personal question, I was already like, oh my god, this guy wants to socially engineer me.
I
But
should have dragged it. I should
um
have dragged it a little bit.
but yeah, first thing that comes to mind is I would probably be a trap artist
Oh my.
in Kuwait.
Really? What? What?
Not
But
here.
but but actually, that's not actually what I would be doing.
What would you be doing
But I
there?
never go into tech up. I don't know. Like maybe I'll be on
You
the
sh-
farm somewhere. Like I
you
don't know.
should actually think
Are you one
about
of
it.
those code farmers?
Huh?
There's one guy that says that if it's not coding, he'll be a farmer.
Yeah, coding is a side
Maybe
hustle.
I might actually be a farmer.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
Interesting.
You're the first guest
There
that
was a
didn't give
point
us
in
an
my
answer.
life.
Well, we're going to go with trap
There was
artists
points in
for
my-
you. That is what we're putting down. When we make our compilation, we're putting trap artists for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can drop bars. For
No,
you
no,
guys
we're
if you
good.
want,
We're good.
like,
Thank you so much
without
for
beats,
coming.
I don't even
No,
need
it's fine.
beats.
It's fine, man. It's fine.
You know, I used to write lyrics.
No.
at one point
We're
in my life.
good, man. We're good. We're good.
I'm actually serious.
We're good, man. We're good. We're good.
I'm serious now.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Remember, we release new episodes every other Wednesday, and you can subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. If you would love to connect with us, you can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at insidethetechos, or subscribe to our newsletter and shoot us an email at insidetechosystem@gmail.com. We love hearing from our listeners. You can follow the host on Twitter as well, Chuka at Siwadiogu and Emmanuel at Olaoluwa_98. All right, see you in the next one.